Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Simple Stories Saturdays. And for this I'm using the Simple Stories Flea Market range, and as you can see I don't have very much of it left, but I do have this pack of Floral Bits. It's not completely whole, but there's still plenty of florals later. So I've brought in some coloured basil cardstock as my base, and I'm going to use that to create two, if I say semicircles, I mean that roughly, using the flowers. Now you can see I've sped up my hands there a little bit because I do study them and look at the different colours. And I'm just trying to get, I want one semicircle to be a little bit bigger than the other. And I'm just trying to get them to be a reasonably circular shape. This is just to see if it's actually going to work. I will actually end up taking them all off and moving them a little bit later on, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough of the flowers. And some of them are like clusters, but there's quite a few individual flowers in there, so I'm just tucking them in any gaps that there is to be able to create the shapes that I want. There's also some leaves in there as well, which I've separated out, and I'm just having a look whether they would work as well, and I like those too. So I think the pack originally had 48 pieces, and I definitely look like I've got the majority of them there. And some people would say, why would you use them all on one layout? But as you saw at the beginning, I don't have very much of this range left, so I'd like to just use it, what I've got left, to create a layout. So I've got that photo there. That's actually me, not quite a year old. So, and I quite like that title, Vintage Memories. So I don't obviously remember this photo being taken, but I do remember where it was, and so I think that title will fit. Now I kind of want the photo on the right, so I've just twizzled the layout round, and I'm going to add the photo in that semicircle and with the title as well. So I'm just looking at the sticker sheet of what I've got left, see what else I can use. I love these ranges from Simple Stories, and I think it's all very usable. And I'm going to use this cluster of tickets in the smaller semicircle. Now I've got a few plates as well that I cut out previously for another layout, so I do think they're going to make it on there, and I might use them just as a base. And I've got a couple of cameras there on the sticker sheet which definitely will also get used. So I've decided I want to add some ink to the back, so I'm just going to mark where the semicircles start and finish and just sketch it in roughly. This is going to get covered in ink and flowers, so it's not a big deal, so I'm just marking that off just so I've got an idea where I want to put that. So I've just tested out the Kitsch Flamingo, and I think that will be a good colour to go round these semicircles. Now it hardly shows when I finish the layout, but I just wanted to add like a bit of a coloured shadow to the cardstock because obviously it's completely plain, and recently I've been using a lot more pattern papers for my background, but because I don't have much of this range left, I thought the cardstock would work. So I just want to create literally a haze of this pink that will go below the die cuts. I'm using one of these brushes, I think they came from Amazon. It's just, I think it gives smoother edges, makes it finer. I know when I've used the round foams before, you literally get a bit of a circle mark. So I do find it softer, definitely, with the brushes. And because I'm dabbing it off some of the times on the scrap paper as well, it means that you don't get that first print of the ink, just to try and keep it softer. But as I say, I'm going to cover a lot of it up. So if there is any little mistakes, it's not the end of the world. So that's all done. So I'm going to come in with some foam pads. I'm just cutting them up so that I can stick them on the centres of the die cuts, so that actually I can overlap and under place them so that I can get the full semicircle. So having not taken a photograph at the beginning, but I did keep them in two piles, I think I know what I want. I'm just going to roughly work them out and put them back around. So I'm not sure if this is your first time watching Simple Stories Saturdays, but I would really recommend it. It's a monthly YouTube hop, so have a look in the comments below. There's a long list of crafters that will be taking part every month that we do this. The one thing I can guarantee is we're all using Simple Stories ranges, but you'll find that we're all very different people making different things with different ranges, and there's loads of inspiration out there. So if, like me, you're a massive fan of Simple Stories, I would really recommend you check them out. You're going to find something that you can be inspired by, I can guarantee it. So, and we've got a very distinctive like thumbnail, so you should be able to spot them in people's YouTube feeds. So I'm now going in with some 3D foam pads, and I've done a lot of that off camera, and I'm now going to start the embellishing. I've got this piece of paper, as I say, it's not a full one, but enough there so I can add some of that yellow check behind the photograph. So I think that will work really well, and I can, because the foam is only on the back of the centre of some of those die cuts, I can tuck the photograph in. Now I wanted somewhere to do some journaling, and I didn't have anything else or any 3x4 cards from this range. So I've just brought in a Project Life card that is very similar in colour, which will be great for holding my journaling, and I can decorate the bottom there with the tickets and the camera and the plate that I'd picked out before. So I'm just having a check what else there is. I definitely want to add some sort of cluster to the top right of the photograph, and I have a few word stickers here, so I'm just seeing what I have left. I'm thinking of adding one to the Project Life card so that it's above my journaling, and that the one that I pick in the end says a moment in time. The other one doesn't actually make the cut in the end, but that's the way it is. So I'm thinking of using another plate up there potentially with that camera. Now just looking at the ink, can you see it? You can in places. There's like a purpley pinky haze coming out from the flowers, particularly top and bottom on the right. So as I say, if you didn't want to do that sort of thing, it's not a big deal, but I think subconsciously you can see it. So I'm looking at the leaves, I'm cutting some of them up just so they're not so big and bulky, and I'm tucking them in to the wreaths as such. I think they look a bit more like now, don't they? Now they're actually all stuck down. And I want to get as much of this range used as possible because I have such little left. It won't hurt to add a few extra bits and pieces as I go. I've really enjoyed working with this collection. There's some really nice soft colours, and I think that's why I wanted to use this outdoor photo taken of me as a child. So the story will get written later, but basically I'm obviously in the top part of a high chair. So years ago, a high chair was in two pieces. So you had like a table bit and a chair bit. So the chair sat on top of the table, and then it could be split into two pieces once the child grew a bit bigger, if that makes sense. So this is the chair bit on its own in my gran's garden. And my gran had the most fabulous garden, and spent a lot of time on it. And as a child, I spent a lot of time in it. And that's, I think my granddad must have taken this picture of me. So definitely worth scrapping. So I put the title on some vellum and I cut it out by hand. That way I can raise the sticker up and put it exactly where I like. And I've got a little bit of this teal check paper left, very little really. And I'm going to use a bit of it to go behind the journaling card. And I think eventually I put another piece of that behind the photo. Same reason again, it doesn't hurt to have another layer, and actually using it up also is a benefit. So once I get that stuck into place, I'll get the bits added to the lower corner of it. So if you do enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe to my channel. There are regular videos that go up and quite a backlog if you want to catch up on some of the older ones. I think I've got quite a range of tastes. I don't think I've necessarily have a style, so I'm sure you'll find something that you enjoy and that can provide some inspiration. So I'm getting close to finishing now, so I'm getting that photo tucked in with the two layers, and I'm actually sticking things down, which actually always takes me more time than you'd imagine. But I'm just putting some foam pads on the back of the title, and underneath is, you see that curvy heart, that's by the small company that I run called SheenaRibenaScraps, and I will link to that in the comments below. But I just thought that sat really well underneath the title. So I'm just putting a little bit of double-sided tape on the back of these leaves and getting them tucked in where I've placed them, so that when I do move it, they don't fall off. I always find there's at least one or two bits that I've missed and will actually move when I come to move the layout. The SheenaRibenaScraps can be stuck down with wet glue, easy, or you can even stitch them down if you want to. And on bigger ones, that red line tape, really strong tape, that's perfect too for sticking them down. So I've decided on the cluster at the top right of the photograph, I'm using a plate and then a camera. So both cameras also came off the sticker sheet, and I've just raised them up by putting some foam on the back. And I write, it is a moment in time is the sticker that I use on that journaling card. ready for the journaling, which I do right at the very end. So I'm just seeing if there's any other bits that I can tuck in, just because I'm in the mood to use as much of it up as I can. And I quite like the way those leaves there overhang the journaling card, and that's why I didn't add too much foam at the beginning, foam pads on them. So using some vellum and a couple of dies, I've cut a few bits, and I'm going to just tuck that in as well, just to go with the vellum behind the title, and it just to add a bit more of a softer feel in places around both of the semicircles. But essentially I would say that this is pretty much done. I've added a couple of small hearts off the sticker sheet yet again, just to get things on the layout. So that's all the dimension. Thank you so much for watching. This is the finished layout and some close-ups too. If you like all of this, give it a thumbs up, hop round the group. We'd love to see any comments you've got, any questions, and I hope to see you here again real soon. Bye for now.